This is the story of a warrior who swore on the gods to protect his people. But on the night he chose betrayal, his own tongue betrayed him first. What happened next is still told in whispers across villages today. In the ancient village of Umudike, every boy dreamt of becoming a warrior. Among them was Obina, a tall, broad-shouldered young man with skin dark as polished ebony and eyes sharp like a hawk. He was chosen by the elders to join the warrior guild because of his bravery in hunting and his strength in wrestling. During the induction, he placed his hand on the oath stone of Ani, swearing, "I will defend my people with my blood, never betray them, never sell them for silver or gold. May the gods strike me down if I lie." The whole village cheered, drums beat, and the new warriors feasted that night. But in the shadows, greed had already planted a seed in Obina's heart. Months later, Obina proved himself in many battles. He gained the respect of the king and the admiration of maidens. But pride grew in him. One night, while walking along the riverbank, he was approached by strangers in dark cloaks. They were raiders from across the great river. They promised him bags of cowries, fine cloths, and even foreign weapons if he would tell them when the warriors would leave the village unguarded. At first, Obina resisted. But when they opened a bag and the moonlight reflected on silver and gold, his heart began to pound. Greed whispered louder than loyalty. He agreed. The day of betrayal came during the festival of New Yams, when the entire village celebrated the harvest. Warriors, including Obina, performed dances in the village square, their spears glittering in the sun. The raiders had planned to attack that night, after the feasting, when the warriors would be tired. All Obina had to do was signal them with the cry of a horned owl. He smiled and laughed with his people that day, hiding his secret. His mother praised him, his younger brothers followed him around proudly, and maidens gave him food. Yet, in his chest, his heart beat with guilt. When the moon rose high, Obina sneaked away into the forest. He reached the edge of the river where the raiders waited in canoes. They nodded, waiting for his signal. He raised his hands to his mouth, ready to mimic the horned owl's cry. But suddenly, his tongue grew heavy. He tried again, but no sound came. His throat felt as though invisible hands were choking him. Sweat dripped down his forehead. The raiders grew restless. "Signal us, warrior," they whispered angrily. But Obina's mouth only released dry gasps. The gods had remembered his oath. As he struggled, the sky darkened. A sudden thunderbolt struck the oath stone back in the village square. The villagers rushed out, sensing something was wrong. The chief priest declared, "One of our warriors has broken his vow. Ani, the earth goddess, has sealed his tongue." At that same moment in the forest, Obina collapsed to his knees. His voice returned only for him to scream in agony. The raiders, realizing he had failed them, abandoned him and paddled away, leaving him wailing in the dirt. Obina was dragged back to the village the next morning. His mother wept, his brothers could not look at him, and the people spat at his feet. The elders gathered. The chief priest reminded everyone, "A warrior who betrays his people does not deserve the earth's embrace." Obina was banished forever. His name was never to be spoken again. The village declared that his story would live only as a warning. Greed destroys the soul, and betrayal never goes unpunished. Obina was cast out at sunrise. With nothing but a torn wrapper around his waist and a staff, he walked barefoot into the wilderness. The forest swallowed him whole. Every sound haunted him. The hoot of an owl, the hiss of snakes, the rustle of leaves. He had once been a fearless warrior, but now every branch breaking felt like the gods mocking him. At night, he dreamt of his mother crying and the villagers chanting his betrayal. Days later, starving and weak, Obina stumbled upon a wide river. He bent to drink, but the water rippled strangely. Faces appeared, the spirits of ancestors, whispering. "You broke your oath," they hissed. "You cannot rest, you cannot drink, you cannot find peace." Terrified, Obina staggered back, clutching his head. The water bubbled as though alive, chasing him from the bank. Obina wandered until he reached another village. Hungry, he begged for food. But when the elders asked where he came from, he hesitated. The truth slipped out. He was the warrior who betrayed Umudike. Instantly, the villagers recoiled. Mothers pulled their children away, men spat on the ground. "Accursed man brings only death," their chief said. "Leave, or we will burn you with fire." He fled again, more broken than before. One night, Obina collapsed under an iroko tree. Suddenly, the forest grew silent. Fireflies gathered unnaturally in a circle, and from the shadows emerged three glowing figures, spirits of the fallen warriors of Yumudike. They spoke in one voice. Obina, the oath lives longer than flesh. You betrayed not only men but gods. Unless you seek forgiveness, your bloodline will carry this curse for generations. Years passed. Obina became a mad wanderer, his hair long and unkempt, his body scarred from the forest. Children in distant villages threw stones at him, calling him the Oath Breaker. At night, he laughed and cried, shouting into the wind. He carved the word betrayal into trees with sharp stones, as if warning himself. Driven by hunger and madness, Obina dared to return secretly to Yumudike at night. He stood at the edge of the village, watching from the shadows. He saw his mother sitting alone, older now, with sadness in her eyes. Tears streamed down his face, but he dared not step forward. He was cursed, and if the villagers saw him, they would kill him. One dawn, hunters from Yumudike found strange footprints near the yam barns. They followed the trail and discovered Obina sleeping in the forest. They raised their spears, ready to kill him. But his mother, alerted by the gods in a dream, ran and fell before them, crying, "Do not spill his blood on our soil. It will poison the land." The hunters lowered their weapons but spat on him, leaving him tied at the edge of the forest. After that encounter, strange things began in Yumudike. Crops failed, rain stopped, and children fell sick. The elders gathered, realizing that Obina's curse was poisoning even the innocent. The chief priest declared, "Until the Oath Breaker's spirit is cleansed, this land will know no peace." The people murmured in fear. The elders decided, Obina must be taken to the oracle of Erechukwu, where the gods could decide his fate. He was bound and carried in chains through forests and rivers, his head bowed in shame. The journey was long and dangerous. At night, leopards growled, and spirits whispered in the wind. But the warriors escorting him refused to turn back. At the shrine of Erechukwu, Obina was dragged before the oracle priestess, her eyes white with trance. She threw cowries on the ground, and the wind roared through the shrine. "Obina," she said in a voice not her own, "your tongue betrayed you. Your soul betrayed your people. You cannot be forgiven, but you can be erased. Your name will be forgotten. Your body will wander forever between worlds." That night, they left him tied near the shrine. When dawn came, the chains lay broken, but Obina was gone. Some said the gods had dragged him into the earth. Others swore they saw him wandering between forests, neither alive nor dead. From that day, no child in Yumudike was ever named Obina again. Generations later, mothers still told their children, "Never break an oath. Remember Obina, the warrior who betrayed his people." Some villagers swore that at night, they heard footsteps in the forest and a hoarse voice crying, "Forgive me." Moral of the story: oaths are sacred. Betrayal does not just wound the people, it invites the wrath of the gods.